Mr. Anand from the Iran. We have just touched upon the importance of that splendid organization. Mr. Amin, what's your opinion about the future of renewables, of energy in Russia? Not just generic words, if you please. You have had a presentation recently, a report recently. It's very interesting and most informative. It slightly differs from what our Ministry of Energy forecasts. Apparently, you are of better opinion of us than we are. What say you?
Always, I have a very high opinion of Russia and Russian people, because I think historically and in terms of what you've been able to achieve, in terms of the intellectual capability, scientific capability that exists in Russia, I think there is a lot of potential ahead. So let me say that as the first thing. And it has been really a wonderful experience for me, because I'm the first Director General of this organization. It's the newest international organization. It's the fastest growing, and it is one that has developed a complete relevance for the ambitions of countries and for the engagement of private sector, where a lot of innovation and deployment is happening. So we are at a very interesting juncture, and for me, it was always a very important aspect of what we were doing to have some of the major economies, major energy leaders in the world as part of this momentum on renewables, and to have Russia participating in this so actively. And Alexei mentioned that Russia is now a member of the board. We have a very strong engagement. And over the last year and a half, we have been discussing intensively with the Russian ministry and with experts on what the potential for Russia is. And let me tell you some of the very interesting things that have happened to me in terms of my personal experience with Russia. One is to be in panels with extraordinary people who are really pioneering change. But, you know, I have the honor to be, for example, on the jury of the Global Energy Prize of the Russian Federation. Igor Lobovsky is here. And for the first time last year, we presented the prize to a renewable energy pioneer, Greitzel, after whom the Greitzel cells are named. But the interesting thing of that was you have in a hydrocarbon economy giving the prize to a renewable energy innovator. But one of the really interesting things was I met a young Russian scientist sitting right here, good-looking young guy, who's working very hard on commercializing the Greitzel cell and the next generation of thin film solar technology. And I really think that the kind of work that is being done in R&D in Russia and in scientific research has the potential to change the game completely for renewables in the future. So this is a little bit down the road. But today we are already at a point globally where renewable technology is making a lot of economic sense. And I mentioned some of the things. It was a very tough panel session this morning, but I mentioned some of these things already. Is if you look worldwide, in more and more economies, renewable energy power generation is achieving parity on the grid. And if you look at some of the major oil-producing countries in the world, if you look at Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and even Russia, there are very ambitious programs now for deployment of renewables in power generation. We are seeing costs of generation around the world that are historically low. They have come down dramatically fast only in the last less than 1 decade. Solar PV has decreased by 80% in price, onshore wind by 60%. We see a trajectory of cost declines for the next decade that are going to be transformational, because they're going to make renewables the cheapest source of power generation on the grid. And yesterday, we got the news of a new world record in terms of power generation cost, which is the cost of new PV 300 megawatt plant to be installed in Saudi Arabia by a United Arab Emirates clean energy company for $1.7 cents a kilowatt hour. It's almost unbelievable, by the way. When I started, it was like 12. That's 6 years ago. Now we're down to 2 cents a kilowatt hour. So that is transformational. And what Alexei was mentioning, seeing how this is making sense, one, in a decentralized setting, off-grid setting. In Russia, you have 20 million people in 70% of this vast territory who are not connected to the grid. How are you going to provide solutions to them? We have a situation today where much of this is from fuel oil or from diesel generation, and some of that cost is extremely high. You have $4 a kilowatt hour cost for some of the off-grid generation. Renewables can do that much cheaper and much more reliably. So, I think that in terms of where the emphasis on future generation is in the power sector, renewables are moving very fast, and they're moving fast not just because of cost and technological advancement, but because they provide a new model of growth and development that generates income and generates employment. And many markets are looking at this. I was in Egypt, and I had the great honor to meet President Sisi to look at the program for development of renewables in Egypt. And he said to me, my main consideration is not purely clean energy. My main consideration is there are 1 million young people every year coming into the labor market in Egypt, and I need a source of growth and investment in infrastructure that provides employment. Otherwise, we have a problem in our society. So renewables addresses a lot of issues. But I think when we look forward, I think on the power sector, it's more or less done for the future. It's going to be dominant capacity addition is going to come from renewables. It's already the case. But when you look at the system as a whole, how is the energy system of tomorrow going to look? And one of the things I find quite inspiring in the Russian setting is that the young population in this country has adapted to IT technologies, to data, to digitalization in a very interesting way. They are living and breathing this stuff because the future of energy is going to be about digitalization, it's going to be about diversity of supply, and it's going to be about creating a system through which we can balance different sources and which we can reduce carbon. If we don't address the issue of decarbonization, it's not a problem for one country, it's a problem for the world. So decarbonization has to be a major part of the strategy on renewables. But let me just say, in conclusion, where do we see the trend? In the last 4 years in a row, the bulk of new capacity addition to the global power sector has come from renewables. Last year it was 62%. It's more than every other source combined worldwide. In market after market, renewables are becoming grid competitive. And we're seeing that in Latin America, in Asia, in Africa, in economies where energy demand is growing fast. Renewables are going to be a technology of choice to meet a large part of that demand in the future. And we're going to see as the scale of investment increases, the costs will decline and the thinking will turn to new systems for the future. How do we use digitalization? How do we connect storage? And how do we balance a system with variable renewables at the heart of it in a new way? And, much of the innovation that we're seeing is making the whole issue of base load and centralized generation a thing of the past. So we have to look forward because a lot of this kind of disruptive change also brings with it tremendous opportunity for a future where you have economic growth, prosperity, but also a sustainable future for our following generations.
большое.